All right, people, today's theme is balling on a budget. I'm gonna take a budget-friendly item like chicken leg quarters and make a delicious meal with common ingredients that you probably already have in your fridge or pantry. Meet me in the kitchen, let's make it happen.
Cheers.
That butter.
Seasoned to the bone.
Yeah, it's working on it.
Seasoned to the bone.
All right, guys, first things first, we're gonna do what's called a dry brine or a salt brine on our chicken. One of my favorite ways to cook poultry. We're also gonna go ahead and clean these up a little bit. We got some excess fat and skin. We're just gonna go ahead and snip that off. Use some scissors. Clean your chicken to your preference. The balling part of the balling on the budget today is this fantastic truffle salt that we're gonna use that I had in the pantry, luckily for me. You can find this at most grocery stores. It's a little bit expensive, but good quality salt can be a little bit pricey. And if you're gonna splurge somewhere, salt is a good place to do it, because if you use the right salt, you're getting good minerals and electrolytes and things of that nature, rather than just high blood pressure from the table salt that we're all accustomed to using. So we're gonna go ahead and get this salt brine going. We're working with chicken, one dirty hand, one clean hand. We got the truffle salt. We're gonna apply liberally here. We're gonna pop this in the fridge to dry brine for 2 to 24 hours. If you're not a fan of truffle flavor, just use regular kosher salt or whatever your favorite brand of salt is. But we're gonna apply this generously. This is gonna do two things. It's gonna allow moisture to release from the protein, and then through osmosis, it's gonna take that salt with it when it reabsorbs into the meat, getting flavor all the way down to the bone. This also is gonna help get nice and crispy skin, which we all love on chicken. Chicken quarters are underrated in my opinion. Arguably one of the cheapest items that you can get at the grocery store these days, especially per pound. You really can't beat it, and it feeds the crowd. So that's my go-to when it's time to tighten up the budget a little bit. You can't go wrong with chicken quarters. Stock up on them when they're on sale. Put them in the freezer. They freeze nicely. Go ahead and defrost them, and then break out a recipe like this. Great for meal prep or a quick weeknight dinner. Now, my friends, for the herbs, the kind you cook with, not the kind that cook you, we're gonna go ahead and prep our rosemary and thyme. So real simple, just get it off the stem here, like so. Then we're gonna give it a nice rough chop. Add that to our room temperature butter, along with the citrus, which is gonna be comprised of the zest of the lemon and the orange. Throw a lime in there if you want to. If that's what you got in the pantry, that's fine. We're doing a citrus and herb butter that's gonna coat the chicken, add tons of flavor, it's crispy skin. You can't beat this. And most people have a lot of this stuff in the house already. If you don't have rosemary and thyme, you run to the store and grab that. It's gonna run you maybe $3, $2.50, depending on where you're at, how much your herbs are. Or you can grow them in your garden, or use dried products that you have in the pantry. A million different ways to spin it. Whatever makes sense for you and your budget. If you have the tender stems of thyme, you can go ahead and just dice them up. But the firmer ones, you want to pluck the leaves off. So there you go. Now, my friends, grab a microplane to get your zest off of the orange. We're using all of this stuff, so just go all the way around the orange until it's bald. We're not gonna let it go to waste though, because we're gonna slice it and add it to our bird's nest. That's gonna help perfume the chicken as it roasts, and it's gonna release all of the juice and flavor to our pan drippings that's gonna make our sauce. So nothing going to waste today. Other than that chicken seating I saw me throw away earlier, but don't call me out. Let me know what you think in the comments about this series, the Ballin' on a Budget series. We can get started and do this. I know that inflation is crazy right now. We're looking like we're headed for a recession if we're not already in one. So everybody could probably use some budget-friendly recipes, myself included. Here we have the lemon and the orange zest, along with the rosemary and thyme. 2 sticks of Kerrygold butter, which is also the balling part of this recipe because that stuff's expensive. But it's grass-fed and is a lot better for you than some of the cheaper stuff out there. So there's certain areas where you might want to not cut corners on cost, butter being one of them for sure. We got the zest in there. Now we're going in with the herbs. Probably just need like 2 tablespoons. I might have overdid it a little bit. 1 tablespoon of garlic, fresh or garlic paste, garlic powder if that's all you have. A little AP seasoning, lemon bay, and a pinch of chicken bouillon powder to beef up the chicken flavor. There we go. Next up, we're going to build what I like to call a bird's nest. We're going to use this for our 2 things, really, to keep the chicken elevated so it's not like boiling. And then also, it's going to add a lot of flavor to the pan drippings or the liquid that's going to form at the bottom that we're going to use for our sauce later. We got a whole head of garlic that we cut in half. Just gonna get all of that in there, skin too, no big deal. We're gonna strain it later anyway. Then we have the citrus that we're working with. We got the onion, we got the lemon and the orange that we zested earlier. Tons of flavor here, guys. Gonna make the most delicious pan drippings you've ever had, which is going to form either a gravy or a sauce depending on what you want to make. No flavor left behind. Get all that leftover diced rosemary and thyme in there. Next, we're going to hit this with a little olive oil to prevent it from scorching. And a little salt and pepper or AP seasoning, whatever you have. Because why the hell not? And then just a splash of chicken broth down in the bottom. Next up, we're gonna give our birds a little massage. They deserve it, right? They're gonna feed us, so we might as well treat them nicely first. Also wanna get up under the skin a little bit if possible. Get that butter flavor on in there. Gloves are great for this for obvious reasons. What we're gonna do is go ahead and apply this citrus and herb butter underneath the skin. That's gonna season the meat, add tons of flavor, kind of actively basting it as it cooks. And then it's gonna help us make sure we get nice and crispy skin. So we're gonna leave the salt on there. We're gonna hit it with just a little bit of top coat of seasoning before we put it in the oven. And you're gonna have the most delicious, flavorful chicken you've ever had. We'll also baste the outer layer with the leftover butter that we have here too, that we're gonna melt down and baste. You also use a turkey baster and pick up the pan drippings and baste the chicken occasionally if you feel like it. All right, guys, so now we're gonna take that leftover butter, and this is where things get glorious. We're gonna go ahead and baste the chicken with that leftover citrus and herb butter that we made. It really doesn't get better than this, guys, especially for a budget meal. I mean, you got all the flavor in the world here. Pair this up with some rice, little mashed potatoes if you don't got rice. Can't go wrong. Throw a veggie in there. Most people got some frozen broccoli in the fridge. Pop that in the oven. And you got yourself a nice quick weeknight dinner. Relatively healthy if you ignore the 2 sticks of butter that we got here. Or if you're on keto, you might think that's the healthiest part of it. It's all about perception. But damn, that looks good. And now, my friends, we're gonna add the liquid gold that we drained off from the pan drippings from our chicken. Then we're gonna add in some seasoned flour. If you don't have this, you can grab it from MrMakeItHappen.com, or just season your own flour to your personal preference. Salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder, things of that nature. Just about a tablespoon or 2 will do the trick. We're gonna whisk that in to basically form a roux, which is gonna thicken everything up for you. Once you get it worked in there, we're gonna add the rest of the pan drippings. Bring that up to a boil. Add a little bit of chicken broth and then a splash of cream, and you got yourself a pan sauce. All right, folks, we got a budget-friendly, delicious dinner for you. Might be, I guess this is the balling on the budget part because we got 2 chicken quarters when you probably should serve it with 1. But that's how we're doing it today. Extra gravy because why the hell not? We're here for a good time, not a long time. This is the part where I say brace yourself for a trademark money shot. Say it with me, guys. Looking good. The only thing left to do is dig in for the taste test. But before we do that, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications as well. All right, folks. Knife and fork is out. This one's so pretty, I don't even want to mess it up. We're coming right on in here for some thigh. Oh, baby. Still juicy. I'm coming back for you. Hold on. Give me a little scoop of rice. Give her a little dip in the gravy. Man, here we go. Wow. Sometimes simple is best. Reason. I still talk about this all the time. I didn't grow up eating rice. Ever. Never had rice in the house.
Never had rice in the house.
Could have saved my life.